Oh, Jess? Good.
He's there and it's done.
Good. So, David Guy, you're from Manchester.
Yeah, the Metropolitan.
Sorry, go on, please.
No, I just that's where I'm from, Manchester Metropolitan University. I'm the Deputy Principal Fire Safety Manager for the university estate. My boss Amanda's normally on these calls, but I don't think she's available today. She's in other meetings.
Are you involved with the USHA group that we've been working with? The University
No.
Health and Safety Group. That's quite an interesting group. We can loop you into that.
That may have been Amanda if it involves the health and safety. She goes to the regular meetings with the health and safety. I think she does about 5 or 6 2-hour meetings every couple of weeks.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. Smashing. I'm just looking around for new people. Eric Doe, where are you from, Eric? I don't know. I don't recognise your name.
Hi there. Let me just put on my camera. I'm from King's College London, and similar. This is probably my second meeting to these webinars. So no, so similar to David. I swear I'm not following you. My boss, Catherine Miley, she's the head of fire safety at King's College London. She normally attends these meetings. I'm here just to, in a way, one, trying to be part of these work streams and works meetings, but also just to also stand in for her, so to speak. Sorry, my camera seems to be not working, so apologies for that. It's not.
Yeah, don't worry. No, it's great to have you here.
No, excellent. No, happy to be here. So looking forward to listening more to this.
And Andy Jackson, I think I recognise your name. Where are you from, Andy?
Good afternoon. I'm from Coventry University.
Oh, okay. That's good. We've got good university groupings together. We did a large project for Coventry University. This is an active plan for BAM back probably almost 10 years ago now. So
that would have been before I started here. I've been here in 6 years.
Cool. Okay, that's great.
My colleague's also on the call, Monica. So she works with me.
Great. So what do you do, Andy?
I'm fire safety manager.
Yeah. And is Monica, are you fire safety as well? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I'm also fire safety. I'm working alongside Andy on Coventry campus.
Great. Okay. And Kevin McSweeney.
Hello. How are you? I'm University of Bristol. I'm the fire safety advisor.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, we've got great connection here with the universities. Often we've got schools on here as well, and I think it's interesting that we're starting to talk to more of the technical advisors that are involved in the school program. So if anybody here is involved in the school program at all, it's worth just mentioning that we had a meeting with Mace a couple of weeks ago. So to look at the handover information. So the purpose of what we're trying to do in this particular work stream is around improving the quality of handover information. So I think from a fire safety point of view, that's going to be very important to you guys. So, but I'll step back and shut up and let Richard take over where we're at with things. Do you want to take over?
Absolutely. Okay, well, apologise to the people who were in the earlier meeting, but hopefully we can add a bit more meat to the bones to keep your interest. The purpose of today's meeting is to define the minimum data and validation model for fire critical assets. Actually, any assets. It's just that we've done a lot of work over the years with many hundreds of participants in roundtables, meetings, emails back and forward to give specific guidance to 12 fire critical safety assets. And it's from pulling together and looking through and making sense of all the inputs we had into that, that we've defined and I'm sorry, I've completely lost my thread, haven't I? Right, so let me go back. So the fire critical assets, and from the information and the inputs on those, specifically a specific question on information, we've come and put together and divined the clear commonalities, if you like. And so what we want to do with that is we're here to agree what must exist so that a competent person can do the job without missing anything out, and to prove that they've done the job correctly afterwards. So the context is that with all that information and inputs from those fire critical asset guidances, there are 4 clear things that are common right across the board. One is having competent people. Another is using checklists. Another is defining life cycle tasks. And the last is having auditable records on an ongoing basis. Now, that was very clear, but what isn't clear is that what is equally clear is that there is no agreement on the data structure that supports those outcomes. Well, the plan is that by the end of this session, we will have a minimum viable scheme and validation logic that we can all recognize as being necessary. Now, just as put on the screen now, 4 common patterns across all fire critical assets. Define lifestyle stage. Define life. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Just no. Go back to the first screen. It's not just me. Okay. So the common pattern across all fire assets is define lifestyle stages, define tasks, assign a competent person, use a checklist, capture evidence, and store an auditable record. Now, so what we're looking, put the next one up, please.
Richard,
So
could I intercede just for a moment?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
because there are so many people that are relatively new to what we're doing, I wonder if it's just worth me taking out a couple of minutes and just explain what we did with the safety critical assets.
Yes,
and then
good
I'll
idea.
hand over to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So bear with me a second, because a lot of you won't know what we've done in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me.
While you're getting that, let me just. All right, it's okay. Go ahead.
So this is actually a presentation that we gave to. Sorry. Too many presentations. That we gave to Usha. Yeah, so basically, we took 12 safety critical assets and we asked a series of questions. We had experts, and we did this over a period of, we've done this now 3 times. We did it in 2021 to form the golden thread information. We then revisited it 2 years later, and then we revisited it last year. So we identified 4 fire dampers and the like. What risk does the asset mitigate? What risks? What do people do to an asset to stop it from working? So, for example, fire doors blocking them open or whatever. What information is needed about an asset to ensure it performs as required? That's the main question that Richard's going to be looking at today. What methods and procedures are needed to make sure that it can be maintained properly? What level of competence is needed, and how should you record changes? So we did this, and all of this information's up on our website for smoke vents, fire doors, cavity barriers, dampers, sprinkler systems, emergency lighting systems, etc. And we follow the same methodology, and that's what Richard's just covering here, to say what is the asset. So in this case, a fire door. What risk is it? What's it there to do? Also, what do people do to it to stop it from working? Being able, for example, disconnecting the door closer. And then what information do we need to know about it from a specification, from a design perspective? So the reason we're doing this is so that we can then feed that information into these sorts of resources, which are standardized ways of managing both fire doors and also smoke and fire damper systems and things like that. So the purpose of this exercise is to distill a lot of that knowledge that we've gathered over the years into a specific set of information about what's needed for handover. Okay, Richard.
Right. Can you stop sharing?
Done it now.
Right. My screen's hung.
Oh.
When you started sharing, it totally screwed up my screen and I can't actually do anything.
Okay.
Wait a minute, let me try something. Just told me something.
So just whilst Richard's
right, okay, I'm back. Sorry,
okay.
It was a technical glitch. I think that's now sorted.
Has anybody got any questions on what I was just showing there? Any observations?
Oh no, fine.
Okay, let me see if I'll see. Let me see if you're right. Okay, do you want to put the next screen on? Let's see if this works. Okay, so we obviously started filling this out in the earlier meeting. Yeah, basically we're taking a scenario where I'm coming into a building to do some work or maintenance on a specific asset. So the first thing I need to do is identify it, as in, where is it? What do I have to do? Where is the thing? So if you look at what we've got on here, we start off with where, what, when, why, and who. So XYZ coordinates. We've got further down location, because we need to know not just that it's in that particular building, but also whereabouts in that building and whereabouts in that room. We've got the asset ID, so we can identify that it is the asset that I'm supposed to be working on. The context, as in, is it an educational establishment? Is it a hospital? If it's a hospital, there is a hospital, or if you're dealing with pharmaceuticals, there'll be specific methods of procedure that need to be followed. Risk, what risk is involved in my actually performing the task that I need to do? How critical is it? What budget is there? What's the time scale? Am I on a deadline? Constraints. Is there asbestos, for example, in the building or in the room? Roles and responsibilities, design management, objectives, and the purpose of the task. What am I there to do? What's the end result to be successful? The terms of appointment, the asset information requirements, asset type, what type of asset is it? The EIR and the OIR, including in OIR is operational information requirements. So that's like the first stage. So has anybody got anything to add to that or to clarify on that?
Could I just contribute something on this, Richard?
Absolutely.
So for the team, one of the reasons we're doing this is that there's a lot of handover information, for example, from a fire perspective, where the information that is needed to comply with Regulation 38 isn't being adequately satisfied. We're finding this quite regularly. So what we've been asked to do, we've been asked to support the definition of what as built means. And we started this exercise of going through this with a workshop this morning, which was on residential, and we've got another one tomorrow on healthcare. So this, from an educational facility perspective, universities, schools, etc. What we're really trying to understand, if you can look at something like maybe a fire damper or a smoke damper or a fire door, for example, if we can relate that type of thinking to this. So if it is a smoke damper, looking at the context of where that smoke damper is, what it's doing, what spaces it's supporting, etc. That's really, so the idea of this is that this is a starter for 10, and then we're going to refine this. So I'm going to shut up now. Andy Jackson.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted clarification of AIR, EIR, and OIR, if that's the same as the principal consultant and that sort of thing. Thank you.
George.
Yeah, so the basically three-letter acronyms are always a bit of a problem, but what we've tried to do there, we've looked at the asset information requirements. That's what the AIR is, and also the employer's information requirements. Now, the OIR has got two different ways of interpreting. One is organization information requirements, and the other is operational information requirements. And people use both examples of that. Does that help, Andy?
Yeah, that's great, but I'm not sure that it actually clarified. I was wondering if the contractor and the project manager are included in the identify, because you've put at the top who, but then it doesn't really specify it.
No, that's actually the point. What we need to be doing is identifying who's responsible, yeah, and where this asset is. So let's say, for example, it is something like a smoke damper or a fire door. There's going to be a range of different people that have got responsibilities for it, aren't there?
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody got anything to add into the identify column? These columns overlap, and so it's far from a scientific model, but if we get something down somewhere, we can mess around with it. Anybody got anything to add into identify? Pierre?
Just a matter of course, I would say that's organizational information requirements, because it's the developer, the client, it's looking at the whole building process, and that goes into operations. So I would, George, take out the operations, because all it does is muddies the water a bit.
Well, we need operational information requirement. Don't take it out, please. Sorry to contradict you, Pierre, but that was made explicitly this morning by somebody that's an asset management specialist, and the term that they use is operational information requirements. I agree from a BIM perspective, and what you and I have been doing for years. The term is organization information requirements, but the operational information requirements does need to be covered at some stage. So I think we need both.
Sorry, I was just going to, sorry, can you, I've got a problem with Teams. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sorry, yeah, it's looking a bit odd on my screen. I was just going to, George, you've already answered that, but just as you were saying that, I was just going to say that in other areas of work, I've been in a couple of things yesterday where we were going through workshops that were very much 19650 related, all that sort of information flow. And of course, the OIR there, just as Pierre says, does talk about organizational information. We're trying to define them, actually, help a client define them. Yeah. So I don't know if this is specific for this particular work, then we all understand what it means in terms of operational. Couldn't agree more that the operational information requirements absolutely essential, of course, totally agree. But in other worlds of work, it's called something else.
Yeah, we're better not using the acronym actually.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
We should have both in there.
Yes.
So I think let's do that, Jess. Make it organizational information requirements. Yeah, exactly. That's good. Because operational information requirements, that feeds into soft landings, doesn't it, Chris?
That was actually that was part of the conversation we're having yesterday about a strategy for the actually you're going to talk about it in the next few minutes, I think. But in terms of what the EIRs are, pulling those back via a soft landings process, via a sort of checkpoint process through the REBA stages to talk about EIRs and OIRs. So yeah, very much part of the GSL soft landings.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move through to understand. Once I've found the asset, what do I know? What do I need to know about it, and what should I do? So what do we need to know? We've already got what model it is, who the manufacturers are, how old it is it compliant, has it been serviced, what's its specification, what's its installation orientation, the cause and effect, P&D. Is it P&D and P&O?
P&ID.
P&ID, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it part of a system? What are the risks involved in the work I'm going to do? What is its life cycle? What about planning? Permissions to actually do the work, and management of change once I've completed the work, and its performance specification. These are in no order. They're obviously just thrown out. So anybody got anything to add into that, or comment on that, or query on that? Chris again.
Would you put, when you talk about life cycle, sorry, would you talk about residual life as well? So in terms of an asset replacement period, so that would obviously be cyclical, whatever the word is, so every 5 years, 10 years, etc. But then how much residual life is left as well in a particular asset, depending on how it's been maintained, etc.
Yeah, that sounds, yeah. Just put that in there. Residual
life cycle.
Yeah. Residual life cycle. Yeah, good one. Anybody else got anything? Yes.
Yeah. Installation date and who installed it. I think be some basic information there.
We've got installation orientation. That's not the same.
But
so you're right. Installation date.
Yeah, the physical date and
installation
the contractor
date
or
and
person installing it.
Contractor who installed, and contractor installed, and contractor. Yeah. Good one. Anybody else? Franco.
I just wanted to add a little comment on EIR. EIR can also stand for Exchange Information Requirements. So I should suggest expanding the three-letter acronym to avoid.
Yeah. So just put at the bottom of under identify, put Exchange Information Requirements.
Obviously, it may also mean employer's information requirement, but we have to be clear.
Yeah.
And then, if I may add another thing, maybe
absolutely
we should also mention some safety precautions that should be taken to carry out the work. I don't know, maybe under work, if any, for example, PPPs and other measures that have to be taken in order to carry out the work safely.
What e.g. PPPs? Great. Excellent. Anybody else? Chris.
Warranties.
I was just going to say warranties. So yeah, that's also something. Could I just quickly ask the compliance?
Put warranties in, understand, Chris. Jess, sorry.
No, not at all. Sorry, didn't mean to cut across. Where we talk about on the understand column, where we talk about compliance, What do we mean? Compliance with what?
I think the idea of that was if you've got a fire door, is it compliant or is it compliant to a standard? I think.
Okay.
I don't know. Pierre, what would you say? Is he not there?
Yeah. You're on mute, Pierre.
Mute.
Compliance should be to what standards it's being set.
Yeah.
In other words, what are the things it's going to be measured from as a benchmark? Is it compliant, yes or no?
Yeah.
And you've got that reference.
Okay, I'm going to add something actually to understand, which is a link to the fire strategy, because the person involved in that should have that, shouldn't they?
Most certainly.
So fire strategy link under understand, Jess.
Yeah.
George, in all of these cases, I think it's important that maybe we add in something just to consider. The input, where there's a process and what the output would be. And that would be, let's say, a document, what the little process is and what you're going to get out. And the reason behind that is it structures what set of data should be going in as an advisory and what's going to come out, because that might be repackaged, branded for particular universities or whoever. But if that core information is consistent throughout, all of a sudden we've got a much more consistent approach across the whole industry.
I agree with that. Would you just read that out again, please? Or say that again, please, Pierre, so that so Jess can put it in.
Okay, so it's three words.
Where would you put it?
Well, for each and every one of these things, when you have their management of change, it's about the input, the process, and the output. And that will get an alignment if we sit down and have a discussion. How did it arrive? What format, what container was it in terms of ISO? And how did we actually process it? What did we look at? What was significant about it?
Right, sorry, can I just interrupt you? Why does the person who's coming to do maintenance on a boiler need to know that?
No, this is to feed them information. Here's what the form looks like that you're going to get.
Yeah, but we're talking about a guy going in there to do work.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the processes that happened above him and the law or anything like that. We're talking about a guy going in there to do some maintenance. Yeah. That's what this is.
No, I would agree with that. It's just that having been on that asset side, if you give the person a form, that's what they're filling out. It means you're getting exactly what you require for it to go and what comes out as it's finished. So what that does for us is we then have a deliverable that is defined. And that's really it. It's just saying, I've got a form. That's what it looks like. That's what I'm going to get back. You can then check compliance as an example.
Yeah, right, because I think it comes under work, Richard. So it's the digital record, for example.
You're basically saying it's a form that this guy needs to fill out.
Information. It's information. Yes. You could say that. Yeah.
It's more about the process, because what it is you're getting something, you're processing it, and it's coming out. There may be no process at that particular activity or instance, but what it means is that you have a far greater benefit of it being defined, what it looks like. What are you going to actually be doing while you're busy doing training, getting people on board, etc. All of those things.
Okay, Mustafa.
It's building on the point raised by Pierre, which is it's important to understand the criticality of the asset in relation to the business process. So how critical is that asset from the perspective of the business model, which is quite different from the risk.
We've got criticality in identify already, haven't we?
Yes, but you need to understand it, because that it's a matter of prioritization when it comes to carrying out the work and how it fits into the business process.
So we put criticality in the understand bit as well.
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Or priority. Let's put priority, because that's what he's talking about. Put priority in there.
Yeah.
Jess. Okay, where are we? Michael.
Yeah, for the understand side of things, it's going to be manufacturer's operation guidance for starters.
Yes.
If the unit's been installed correctly and stuff like that.
Good point.
Right, great. So where would that go in? That would go into work, wouldn't it?
Work and understand, to be honest. I think it
Yeah.
across.
Okay, so
both
what?
of them.
Say that again, Michael, for Jess.
It's,
He's got it.
Yeah,
He's already done it.
That's it.
Well done.
The other thing I was going to say, and it may be under identify and under understand, and that's the component parts. So where you've got something like a fire door that's a composite item, you need to know both what the asset is, but you also need to know what its components are. So I don't know, should we put that in
yes, that's because you've put in there this morning, didn't you, about whether it's part of a system. Well, it makes sense also to drill down, kind of go in the other direction, to have what the components of it are.
Yeah,
that's not the knowledge that the guy would need to have, isn't it? What the components are, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah, so put that in, just.
Yeah.
Can I add a thing there under the components of the system? In other words, it is system related because that's the overall container.
Good point.
And the components that make it up.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Michael.
Specialist tools required.
Yeah.
I think we've got that.
We've got tools somewhere, haven't we? Did we? Rings a bell.
So I'm just on a little screen. Can't see.
Well, put it in anyway, just in case we've missed it, because we'll go through this anyway.
We definitely need it, Mick. You're
absolutely, yeah.
I thought that we'd done it this morning.
Okay, so I think we did, and then it was redefined as something else to cover something else, but it didn't.
Oh, I know what it was. When we go down to finding out why you shouldn't, that was it.
That's it, yeah.
Not having the right tools. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's look at the work itself. Yeah. What needs to exist for me to do this work? I need to know what the tasks are that I actually have to complete, don't I? I need to have a work plan, would it be called? What would that be?
Yeah, work plan. I think that's
work plan. Yes.
Yeah.
Schedule of work. Yeah, that's better.
Permission to work, something like that.
Yeah, put that in. Oh yeah. Rights and the right spares and consumable. And was that compatibles, Tim, or consumables? Consumables. Rights, the correct right spares and consumables. Put that under work, Jess.
Matt Cunliffe said RAMs.
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 RAMS, Jess. I have no idea what that means. Does everybody know what that means?
It's already on there.
Risk assessment method statements.
Okay, cool. Michael.
I was just going to say that RAMs and that then, but then.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else got anything? Okay, Chris.
Have we got, sorry, I'm looking through, have we got information about the history of maintenance to whatever it is that he's looking at? So how will you know?
We should have maintenance history down there, shouldn't we? Okay, where is that?
See it. It would make sense that you would. Yeah.
Yeah, but it could be that we haven't.
Can't see it.
Put maintenance, history of maintenance. I say we're going to obviously collate all this stuff, so it doesn't matter if anything's doubled. Yeah, sorry.
My question would be about the space that this piece of maintenance is being done in. Is it QR tagged, or how do we identify it so that somebody doesn't go and work on the room next door just because they're right next to each other? So it's either a floor plan or there's an identifier like a QR code on the door which says scan that. Yes, that's the one you're going to.
I think that comes under location, doesn't it? The exact location.
Yeah, it does. But we did. Pierre's absolutely right. There needs to be. I thought that we'd done this morning a space ID.
Well, that
But
needs to be
maybe
at the
we did.
beginning. Well,
Let's put it in.
put
X,
space
Y, Z
ID in
coordinates, wasn't it?
and identify.
Well, there is a difference between the space ID and the XYZ coordinates.
Yes,
and I think
exactly.
we need
So-
both.
Which is why we had more than just the
Sure.
XY coordinates.
Yeah.
George,
Yeah,
what
we
I
had
would
more
say
than
is
that in there.
you've
Oh,
got a
sorry,
space.
Franco. I meant to call you, and I said Pierre instead.
Okay, fine.
Another instance of how a three-letter acronym can generate confusion. In system engineering, RAM has a very specific meaning, and it stands for reliability, availability, and maintainability. So, which is a very, very important concept. So let's make sure that we are clear about what we mean by RAM or RAMs.
Yeah, we should. I think you're right. So whoever it was, can you say what RAM is? Have you got that, Jess? Have you? Oh, well done.
Yeah.
Okay, I meant reliability, availability, and maintainability.
Right.
This
Reliability,
is
availability, and
and
maintainability, Jess.
Very,
Put that
very
in as
important
well.
concept.
Put that
And
as
then
well, Jess.
And then if my friend Pierre doesn't get angry at what I'm saying, I'm going to say, I would say that there is nothing that is not part of a system. So we have already said in column, where is it? Column, we wrote system somewhere. Where was it?
Yeah, we did. It's in, halfway down. Understand.
A system, okay, right. So when Pierre said components of the system, I presume that he meant which system is this asset a component of, right? And my statement is, which comes from many decades dedicated to system engineering, is that everybody in any asset is part of a system. It's a matter of defining what the system is. Okay.
Yeah.
I realize that this is a huge topic, so I don't want to generate any, but a system is made of components. So
Sure.
the two, so line 11 and line 24, in my opinion, are kind of expressing the same concept.
Could I just ask a question, Richard, of the experts that are on, because we've got quite a few fire safety experts on.
Yeah.
Could I just ask a question? Is there anything special that we need to think about in terms of which assets are adjacent to or related to? Or, well, what I'm thinking is connection, having two items that when they are together, they cause more of a fire risk. Is there anything we need to be thinking about there in terms of saying, I can't think what the term would be.
Maybe dependencies or connections.
Yeah, connections. Yeah, Andy.
This is kind of why I had my hand up, because it's, and I wasn't sure if this was work or identify, but it's actually letting people know in adjacent areas. So if it's a workshop or a laboratory or whatever it happens to be, or accommodation, you need to know about it next door.
Yeah. What would you say? Informing affected
dependencies,
possibly
relationships.
Yeah.
Or potential disruption.
Yeah.
Or adjacency impact.
Yeah, that's a better, isn't it? That covers everything. Adjacency impact, Jess. Put that in. That would be. Well, yeah, just put it in work. Adjacency impact. Zonal hazards. Thank you. Zonal hazards, just put that in work as well. That's it. Also, somebody put up, I saw flashed up, Kosh. COSHH. Don't know what it is, but somebody put that up.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
to
it's
do with
controlled substances hazardous to health.
substances. Yeah.
Oh, right. So that could be relevant depending on the context. So put that in.
Yeah, it's to do with chemicals.
Yeah,
and
you're not
stuff
allowed
like
to
that,
pour
whether you
oil
need
down
to
the
do work.
drain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So put that. We'll put that in. Yeah. Put it in. Yeah. Put it all there. It's all going to be mixed around and collated anyway, isn't it? Okay. Anybody else got anything on work? Right. Okay. Then prove. How do we prove it? How do we evidence that the work has been done and it's been done properly and effectively? So what's the evidence? Before and after photos, Monica says. So we should have photos in there, shouldn't we? Before and after photos. Excellent. What else?
Well, if you've taken what they've started to do now, when you take your car for a service or repair or whatever, is they take a little video and send it to you. So
really?
Photos and video, yeah. Which is,
wow.
They're doing narration over it. Not everybody,
Very
but
good.
a lot of them.
Oh, photos and video, yeah, excellent.
I think it's also important because somebody mentioned in the previous workstream the feedback loop. So if you're going to if you've experienced servicing something and there's other equipment in the way, then having that information come back, because the likelihood it won't be the same engineer going twice.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's continuity, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, it's the importance of that feedback loop informs the next person coming.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Obviously recorded, a record of what you've done, a sign off of some sort, depending. Pierre.
Richard, what I would do is include a checklist. Now, the checklist is not to take away every one of those things, but it's a preemptive thing. What am I doing? And it would tie in with every single part. There's what your preparation is, etc. And then also it's a quality check at the end that you say done, 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 even though you have all the other documents to meet the requirements. So they're incredibly powerful and not just a crutch.
Yeah. Excellent. And where appropriate, test results.
Well,
I think because
that's what I was going to say. Test. I suggest.
Right, Franco, you say it because you'll give more detail than I would.
Well, I was suggesting to add the word records to the line item called testing and commissioning records, so that so that there is an evidence that measurements have been taken, things have been done.
Yeah. It's okay them testing it, but they need to be on the record, those tests, don't they?
No, the records of the test results.
Yeah.
So it's usually called testing and commissioning records.
Okay. Anybody else got anything on there?
Hi, this is Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Howdy. This may be something that belongs in one of the earlier things, but as you were going through the discussion,
no problem.
I was thinking about, as you're working on something that is anything that's life safety oriented, that has the potential to trip a notification to a emergency response agency, you should probably early on in the process identify to them you are going to be working in a specific area. There is a risk of a potential false alarm.
Yes.
It may not happen, but just in case, let's err on the side of caution.
Absolutely. So what would you put? Inform emergency services?
That should be fine.
Put inform emergency services.
Notify.
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 Notify
emergency services.
or coordinate with.
Notify emergency services.
Yeah,
That's fine.
great. Okay, anybody got anything else?
By the way, this should be done also at the beginning, not only at the end.
Yes, yeah. At this stage, Franco, we're just getting it on there. It's going to be reordered and
No,
deduplicated.
in a different column, as it has already done.
Yeah.
So at the beginning and at the end.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yes. I see what you mean. Yeah, absolutely.
Just one last thing in terms of that prove column. Sorry, I'm looking now. It probably is covered there in terms of the sort of inference of what those words say already, but in terms of compliance with the plan. So if he's maintaining something, so whatever it might be, fan call or whatever, that he is adhering to his plan maintenance schedule and his plan. And I can't quite see what it is.
Proof that he's adhering to plan maintenance plan or maintenance
sort of,
plan.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's one of the first things you check if you go in and you say, right, how are we doing, and have you kept up to date, whatever, with your work, is where's the plan and how do you evidence against that plan?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering where that is. Continuity, maybe? I'm not sure.
Well, we've got it improved now. For now.
Sure.
All right. Tag out and knock off procedure.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
No.
No. So tag out lock off procedure is basically isolated in a circuit or pipework. It's usually done. It'll probably be done under the work and you towards your permits, your risk assessment type of thing.
Yeah. Great. Got it. Anybody else? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, I've got one question, Richard. Sorry. Is anybody on the call involved with PFI, Private Finance Initiative, and PPP? So I'm just wondering, Chris, is there anything special about PFI or PPP that we need to be thinking about this? I'm thinking perhaps availability penalties.
Absolutely, and there are very sort of contractually and commercially linked elements that you have to think about in that space, as in availability, as in the KPIs and the performance standards and the proof of that. But I wouldn't be doing that, or I wouldn't be. So the individual who's doing the work wouldn't necessarily be thinking of that at the time that he's doing the work. And actually, I think it's really important that they don't. I think it's important that they focus on the task at hand, and there's a commercial sort of, I don't know, umbrella or something, over the top of the work when you assess that that's being done. So that there are absolutely things to think about in the PFI contract space related to the work being done or not done to a standard, etc. But at the point of actually doing the work, actually, I'd say no, even though it's relevant. So it's directly relevant to the performance of the contract, but I wouldn't want the individuals doing the work to be thinking about it.
Okay.
If that helps.
Yeah, I suppose that's the context, really, isn't it?
It's a context, yeah.
The proposition that Richard's put forward is that you're looking at an individual, going to site to do some work, which is still a huge amount that we've got here. So I suppose adding the commercial aspects to things is a bit. I was also just looking in the notes. Andrew O'Reilly. Andrew, are you still on the call?
Yes. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
George is frozen.
Yeah.
No,
George.
I know it keeps going off. Sorry, my internet keeps going off, it appears. Yeah. So the point that Andrew O'Reilly was talking about was zones. And I think, looking at the context of a thing in a zone, has some relevance, but maybe again that's over the top.
Well,
Maybe
we've got
just drop
zonal
down.
hazards in there.
Oh, great, good, okay,
Yeah.
smashing.
Steve, have you got your hand up still, or have you got it up again?
It's up still, but I do have something else to throw out. If you're working in a laboratory environment or a hospital environment, there very well might be pressurization issues that you need to be aware of. If you open up a door that is not normally supposed to be open, you could disrupt a lot of other subsystems that are not expecting it. So you really need to be aware. Are there any special, I would say, environmental requirements?
I think that's one of the things we consider in zonal is like if you're in a flammable atmosphere, is there any ATEX requirements? Have you got any IP rating requirements you need for water ingress or dust ingress? Just where are you putting the kit, and what impact does that have on it?
Right.
And we've got something on adjacency as well, haven't we? So I think we're covered on that. Pierre,
just to support Chris's point of view, this particular document is actually looking at the person who's executing the work. But maybe another column without it being there, but it's at the end is the reporting function that's got to take place to indicate what the condition is versus what was planned, if there's a gap, and any other consequential things that might pop up about it.
Is that part of the proving bit? I mean, obviously we've got to be careful we don't overcomplicate this. I think it's already quite challenging, isn't it?
George, absolutely. Put it under the proof right at the bottom. It's the thing that is the final closing off the signature at the bottom of the page to say it's been done. It doesn't have to be in anybody's page except for in the reporting process, whoever's in the final thing done, closed.
okay, so
yeah, Richard, I was just looking through the work list, and I know that somebody's probably going to say that's already covered, but making sure somebody's dressed as is actually kitted out. So if it's a hard hat, or if it's making sure that work boots, or particularly if they're working with electrical equipment, that they've got the right sort of insulation and things like that. So I don't know whether, I mean, you would expect it to be under the method statements, but it doesn't explicitly say it. So
no, that's okay. So that's PPE, we would call that, would we?
PPE, yeah.
That's
okay,
part of RAMS.
Put that under work. Yeah, put it. Oh, it's here. We've got
it's
PPE.
part of RAMS.
Oh,
part
right,
of safety
okay.
precautions, though.
PPE.
It's PPE,
okay.
Chris, not Gis, not PPP. There we go. Excellent. Very good. Right, very quickly, just scroll down. Okay, let me ask everybody a question. So, under what circumstances would you refuse, if this was in your power, your domain, your responsibility? Under what circumstances would you not sign off an asset? Why would you refuse to sign off an asset? Well, we've got a list here. If it was the wrong asset, if there was no induction, insufficient specification of the job work done, incorrect location, you don't trust the installer, not having any evidence of the work being done, wrong permissions, incorrect or missing records, misidentified issue, inappropriate instruction, insufficient proof of competence, incorrect tools, or non-compliance or known errors. Anybody else? I think that's Michael.
Probably a bit. Sorry,
So,
Richard.
incorrect usage of the equipment.
Incorrect use of equipment. Just
Yes.
put that in.
And to be honest, I've actually walked off site for foul language from the actual, because I don't, obviously everybody probably don't know what I do, but I'm an ex-maintenance engineer, service engineer for the last 25 years. So I've walked off site for verbal abuse.
But abusive behaviour.
Yeah.
Abusive behaviour. That's it. Great. That's fine.
Yeah, I was going to add, Richard, about leaving a mess. You know.
Oh yeah,
not,
that's
not,
a good
not
one.
tidying
Yeah,
up.
that's a good one.
Because
Right, so
you may be leaving it in a state where the activities can't resume.
Yeah. Yes. So what would we put there? Inadequate clear up.
No, not proper handover.
Yeah, let's specify why though. Put inadequate clear up just on that list. There we go. Anybody else? We've got 3 minutes.
I'm not sure,
Andy.
guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but I wrote in new problems created by the installer or the contractor. So as an example, if they punched a hole in a wall that then damaged the fire stopping.
Yeah, good one. New problems created by. That's it. Oh, you got it, mate. Good, well done. Who else have we got? Mustafa? Oh, Martin, sorry. I just saw the M.
Hi. Yeah, I don't know if it's kind of vaguely covered by some of the previous terms, but missing updated asset information. So, for example, the serial number's not been updated when something's been replaced. It's not got its own asset ID, etc.
Okay, so put that on missing updated asset info. Just put that there.
Yeah, sorry.
Anybody else?
I think what was mentioned there is that if somebody's replaced an asset that had a barcode or a QR code on it, or just a tag on it, replaced it, and there's nothing there, then that missing or updated asset information on the actual, it should be more explicit and say it's actually on the asset itself, rather than it being part of the documentation.
Okay, right. So tell me what to write.
Or both, to be honest.
Yeah. If we put oh dear, asset labeling stroke information.
Yes, asset labeling / information. Incorrect asset labeling information. Yeah, put incorrect in the front of that. Monica.
Just from experience, obstructed access. So we've got particularly issue in one of the buildings when it was built recently, and we cannot access fire dampers because it's too many already staff cramped into tiny little rises. So obstructed access is the main issue because we cannot carry out maintenance to the equipment.
Right. So if somebody comes along and their work ends up obstructing access, right? Obstructed. That's it. Good one. Okay. Are we nearly there? I think we are. Okay. Right. Let me tell you. We will.
Shall I just explain what we're going to do with this, Richard?
If you want, you most certainly can.
Yeah. So what you're feeding into here is, if you like, a main pool of information that we're planning to turn into something that we can feed back into the Construction Leadership Council and some of the other, authorities that are actually going to be defining what as-built means. So one of the reasons we're doing this is because there's great variety in the way people are interpreting what handover information is actually required by asset teams. And to be frank, it's not working out so well, and hasn't been for a while. I think Chris is nodding his head there. So what we've been asked to contribute to that. So I think this comes part of the work that we've been doing as part of the Golden Thread. So if people aren't aware of what we've done in terms of the Golden Thread, probably the universities, for example, the people that have come on here, if you put white paper into the chat, we'll share with you the white paper documents that are behind a lot of this work. So this is looking at what information, the golden thread of information that actually you need to be able to operate the building safely. A lot of that is coming through. So if you want a copy of that white paper, just put white paper in the chat. But the important thing about this is that what we're actually doing is, I think we're gaining traction with people that will have the authority to build this stuff, bake it into the information requirements, so that we can then get better outcomes.
Well, what we're actually doing with this internally, which will be external as well, obviously, is with this information that we're gathering here and in other meetings, will be used to put together a standard schema and a validation framework. This is the key output for us, actually.
Yeah, sorry, Richard.
Which will be brought back to you once it's complete, probably by the next meeting, for you to challenge, and I'm sure you'll take great delight in that.
Well, just building on that briefly, we've got a workshop on Thursday, which is about AI and data engineering, and the focus of that is around, at the moment, it's around validating handover information. So we've got over 100 people that are participating in that, bringing together their knowledge and experience to be able to use technology to automate a lot of this checking. So those, for example, on the fire safety side of things, you're presumably at the end of projects, you're asked to check that all the Regulation 38 information has been signed off. Andy Jackson, would you say would that fall under your remit?
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's not easy, is it? I don't know what your experience is, but the quality of that information in a joined up way is, certainly in my experience, has been quite shocking.
We've had quite a few attempts at creating something like this at the university, and we've had some really good efforts, and then it's kind of been filed and never seen again. And so it's a kind of starting from scratch every time we have a major project.
Yeah. So where we're going with this, Andy, and certainly this is very true of the universities, you've got projects going all the time where there's either, small ones or large ones, but they all have to produce health and safety files and O&Ms. So what we're doing is making it so that we can speed up the checking of that, and providing a level of automation so that can then be done more easily. And we've got, within the Golden Thread community, we've got lots of really good subject matter experts who can contribute to that. So that's something that we're very interested in talking with you about. Good.
Okay, excellent. Great meeting. And same time in 2 weeks, if you're available, we'll get invites out.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Yes, bye.
Thanks very much.
Bye.